Buy cheap and safe NBA 2K22 MT at NBA2King.com. You can use code Excapar, that's EXCAPAR, for 5% off your entire purchase. Really quick before the video starts, I've actually started up a new podcast with my friends, the Pitch Your Pick podcast on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description down below to it. We just have fun going over bets every single day that you guys can go ahead and check out in the NBA, the NHL, NFL, all that wonderful stuff. So if you guys are interested in sports betting or maybe getting into sports betting, go ahead and check out the podcast in the link in the description down below. Now let's get to the video. Alright, so we're back at it again with the best shooting guards tier list in 2K22 MyTeam. If you guys are excited, that like button down below. You can check out the description as well for the PG tier list that we posted yesterday. We're going to get it going. I kind of liked the little quick format that I was doing yesterday where I kind of just showed everybody and went through. If you guys like it, let me know down in the comment section below. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch this video and yesterday's tier list. If you like the longer form ones, I can do that. If they short ones, you can do that. Like the video, comment your personal, opinions on all of this, and hit that subscribe button as well. If you guys are new to the channel, it really helps me out a bunch, as well as that like button. Without further ado, let's start off showing you guys everybody that I have personally in the hard pass tier. Now, the first one that we got out here is the man, the myth, the legend, Vernon Maxwell. And it's really just because I'm not a massive fan of this Vernon Maxwell card, really in the slightest. Jump shot 40 on a PG already is a little bit tough when it's only on that normal timing, and then you mix in the fact that he sadly has a base dribble style, I think, and it's just not really worth it. Terrence Davis, actually a cool, fun card that you can, mess around with, I think. But the main problem is I just don't really love the dribble style. I just don't really see too many reasons to be using him over a lot of the other cards that are in the game right now. So it's a little bit tough. He's good, just not, I guess, my cup of tea personally. Next is Malik Monk, kind of same thing. Another guy who just doesn't really dribble too well, but I will say Malik Monk's pretty good elite shooter, so that's always pretty nice. Jamal Crawford, nice little emerald, is a pretty decent, pretty fun card all around that I do actually have quite a bit of fun using, just because, Jamal Crawford can always dribble, and that's always really fun to do in 2K, but obviously there is absolutely no defense to be heard of with this Jamal Crawford card. Next up, Hershey Hawkins, another one of those really bad dribble style, jump shot 40 kind of PGs, just not really my cup of tea. I think it's too easy to contest them, and they're just not really fun. And then Gary Trent Jr. may have the worst jump shot in all of 2K22 and jump shot 18. It's just absolutely horrible, and you could not pay me to use it on a card unless it is on very quick this year. And even then, I still don't think I'd love it. And that actually wraps up quick the hard pass tier, and I'll show you guys quickly the still decents. Now, with the still decents here, we're starting off with Victor Oladipo. Again, another card that's actually pretty damn solid, a pretty fun card, but aside from being a nice, defensive guy who can still play make a bit, I think his jumper is still a little bit too baited. I know a lot of people like him, and he's really good defensively. I just think for my 2-guard, I kind of prefer having a defensive point guard and then a shooting guard that can really hoop. So for my, I guess, personal likings of cards, just doesn't really fit. Next up is Ronnie Brewer, who I was honestly not even really that aware that he dropped, and I would suspect that most of you guys weren't either, but he's a nice little amethyst that came out over the weekend, and he's actually not that bad at all. He's a token marker card now, 6'7", 6'11" wingspan, can be a good shooter, really good defender, even comes with quick for stepping downhill, can even finish a bit. He's got jump shot 22, which is nice, but he's got that base dribble style, so he's a bit more of a cone that, that's always a little tough. The next guy we got out here is Quentin Richardson. Now, Quentin Richardson used to be one of the GOATs in 2K. If you remember, I think it was like 2K17, those days, hooping with Q Rich. Let me know it down in the comments. I want to see who's OGs out here. But Quentin Richardson's really nice. But the thing is, they really changed his release, and now I honestly just kind of hate it. I'm not really a fan of it at all. So, there's that. Also can't dribble for the life of him, which also is extremely tough. So I don't know. It sucks to see how far he's fallen, but Richardson kind of still decent for me. Next is Lonnie Walker, who's kind of one of those guys who can really do a little bit of everything, which are always pretty fun to, I guess, use. But, he's alright, has that normal release timing, is an okay defender. Just all around, he's good. I just don't think he's crazy. Next up is Kevin Porter Jr., who is actually like a very similar card to the Diamond OJ Mayo we're going to cover, jump shot 49, like that J.R. Smith clone, but he does have that base dribble style. I just think it's a little bit too tough to really be, I don't know, anything that high on these lists. So it is, I love the fact he's got this jumper on quick, but base dribble style and no defense, I can't put him any higher. Jeff Malone is next, does have that Trey Burke base, which is awesome, and that slasher dribble style. And I actually think this card is a lot better than some people are really giving him credit for, which is awesome, or awesome for me because I got him from the exchange. Just a nice overall shooting guard that can, go out there, shoot the 3-ball really well, has some good playmaking, and can finish pretty well as well. So I'm giving him his flowers. Next up is Evan Fournier, one of the most inconsistent shooters in the league today, but is a really good offensive, cone kind of player, which can be nice. But obviously Fournier's not going to be playing defense. He's not going to be getting shifty for you out there. He's just a good scorer, which, if we're being honest, most people are in 2K at this point. Next up is my man Desmond Mason, another one of those jump shot 49 on quick players, which I really like. He does have good defense as a good slasher, but has that slasher dribble style, so a bit tough. I just think there's a lot of guys, again, who are really offensive heavy at the 2 guard, and he just doesn't stand out to me. Next up, one of my favorite cards, Cuttino Mobley, just because Jump Shot 26 might be one of my favorite jumpers ever in my team, and it's so slept on. Like, severely slept on. Because it's just so clean, it's so fast, it's so easy to time. But the sad thing is Mobley's not really the most insane of defenders. And if you actually look at him, he's not going to be dribbling anything crazy. He's just a really good cone that can just chuck up threes, and I love that. Next up is Josh Hart, who honestly is kind of underwhelming. He's got jump shot 34, that Paul Millsap jumper. I think it's a little bit too slow on that normal timing. The base dribble style is kind of whack, but he is a nice, cone defender if you want to use him that way. Again, nothing crazy, but he was a free locker code card, so I'm excited for him for that. Next up is Avery Bradley. I think he's another one of those jump shot 40 PGs, which is a bit tough, but he does have the quick dribble style, so he can dribble around a little bit and get cooking if you need him to. I just think the thing that holds Bradley back is just being all right all around. He's not, crazy. He's just good, which isn't bad. And then last but not least, if you remember the days of this man cooking when he was on OKC, Anthony Morrow, leave it down in the comments, because I loved Anthony Morrow cards. I think it was I forget, 15, 16, something like that. One of the earlier 2Ks. It was so fun hooping with this Anthony Morrow. And he's actually pretty decent this year. He's got that Kyrie Irving jumper, the fundamental dribble style, but he's playing literally no defense. So I can't put him higher than still decent. But I love the memories. Hopefully we get a diamond or something like that later in the year just for the memes. And I'll be so gassed. We'll show off the wonderful, pretty damn solid tier. But we're starting off with Tyler Hero, the man. And Hero's actually a god. He has that Trae Young jump shot base, which is probably one of the easiest 2-time bases in the game, at least for me. I just think it's stupid easy, and they gave Tyler Hero the ability to dribble. Obviously, Hero is pretty weak. He doesn't have the ability to really clamp anybody up all that great, but you gotta love a guy that can cook up with such a clean release, which I do, so this Tyler Hero still is getting that pretty damn solid. Next up is Steve Smith, who was cursed with some really bad dribbling with that base dribble style, but is an absolute hooper. The Steve Smith is one of the clutch time rewards that you get, and he is a menace out there. Actually a super solid card. 6'7", 6'10" wingspan at the 2. Can dunk on everybody. Really good shooter. His playmaking is great. His defense is good, and he's got jump shot 22 on quick. If they gave him the quick dribble style or something like that, we actually would be talking about Steve Smith as if he was one of the best shooting guards in the game. I'm not even kidding. Next is OJ Mayo, who is literally just a Kevin Porter Jr. with a little bit of defense. It's nothing special. It's nothing to write home about, but it's still a pretty damn solid card. Next up is Josh Giddey, our 6'8" guy that can play the PG. Now, as the PG, I think Giddey can maybe sneak in a Baby Demon, but the problem with Giddey is that you have to add a lot of badges to him to make him a crazy, or a better defender and all that, better shooter, and he still, can't really play make all that crazy because he just doesn't really feel all that good. Just doesn't really have good animations. He's a little bit clunky, and he has the Jason Kidd jumper. I do think later on in the year, if we get a better Giddey card with, his jumper on very quick, I think it can actually be pretty damn solid, but how he is now, I just think he's a middle of the pack shooting guard, point guard. Next on the list is the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Caldwell, who is a sleeper pick for a lot of people, including myself, just because he's got a nice jumper and jump shot 22. He's a pretty good defender, and he can dribble a little bit. All around is pretty fun. Joe Caldwell is, again, one of those really, slept on cards in my team, but I really think he shouldn't be because he's a hooper, especially if you EV him up to Pink Diamond. Next up is my man Doug West, jump shot 107 on quick. I know a lot of people that love Jason Tatum, but for some reason don't even think to use Doug West. Basically, this Jason Tatum with better dribbling and can dunk like crazy, which is just awesome to see. I think, again, that this Doug West card, one of the most slept on cards in the game, because jump shot 107 on quick, probably one of the best jumpers in the game right now. And he's still an all-right defender. Next up is Jaylen Brown. Again, one of the better defenders in the game right now. Jaylen Brown can just literally lock anybody up that he wants to, and you gotta love to see that out of him. With Jaylen Brown, he does have jump shot 75. It is a little bit slow. It can be a little bit baited, but I think it's still fun, and he's one of the better slashers. So all around, love me some Jaylen Brown. Derek Anderson's next, and he is a hooper. I'm pretty sure Derek Anderson has jump shot 22 on quick, maybe. He has a jumper that's pretty damn solid on quick. I don't 100% remember what it is, but he does have the quick dribble style and can dribble around really well. Is an alright defender, and I just kind of like using him, which is probably why he got that pretty damn solid spot. Next up is Allen Houston, a Ray Allen-based player who's essentially, again, another cone. He's a guy who's going to catch and shoot a bunch of threes and is going to be a decent defender and can kind of slash a little bit, but is meant to be an off-ball player, not really an on-ball kind of guy. Next up is Byron Scott. Kind of plays better as a point guard, which, no hate on that, honestly. There's some guys who just are better at their secondary position, and Byron Scott's one of those. Jump shot 22, a good shooter, good defender. Not really the most amazing finisher, but still a good card. And for me personally, I actually realized I kind of like to use him in clutch time. So go Byron Scott. Next up is Buddy Hield. I decided to use the All-Star Diamond instead of that Evo one, just because the Evo one's hard to get a picture of now, because 2KDB's acting a little weird. But Buddy Hield is still an absolute demon. We're talking about the Kobe Bryant base on it quick, which is absolutely disgusting. The quick dribble style and some pretty decent defense. Although this one has gold, the other one has Hall of Fame. I still think I prefer the New Year's resolution, but this one is still pretty damn alright. And last but not least is going to be Bradley Beal, another one of those cones we were talking about. Beal did get a juice up to his defense, which is always really nice to see out of cards. But still has the Ray Allen jumper on that normal timing and still can't really dribble, so it's still a little tough for Bradley Beal out here. Starting off our baby demon tier, we're just going to show everybody out here. We got a lot of them. There's a lot of good shooting guards. First off is my man Sidney Moncrief, a new card that just got added to my team and new to my team as well. To my starting point guard role. And Moncrief, probably the best defensive PG that I have used in my team so far this year, and it's really not even up for debate. On top of that, he's got jump shot 22 on quick, which is so easy to time, like grossly easy to time, has great dribbling. It's just an all-around really good card, and it was a struggle for me to not put him in Demon's tier because he actually has been so fun to use so far throughout this new season at 2K. So, Sidney Moncrief, check him out. Next up is my man Rip Hamilton. Rip Hamilton actually got an upgrade. I was surprised. Now, normally, Rip is one of those guys who, emphasizes that cone role of catch and shoot threes and playing good defense. But they gave him jump shot 40 on quick, one of the first cards with that, aside from Duncan Robinson, and has that shifty dribble style now so he can move around. Now, his defensive tendencies are pretty tough, but if you use him as an on-ball kind of guy, his 3-and-D ability is out of this world, and it's a super underrated card. Next up is one that is going to be my hunt this season. I usually don't try that hard to get the triple threat cards, but Morris Peterson is one of my favorite cards that they've released in 2K, and this dude is 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, jump shot 14 on quick, has a shifty dribble style, the Kobe escape, and has crazy good defensive tendencies. As a 7-point shooting guard, this is probably one of my favorite cards in the game right now. Honestly, I could have put him into the Demons tier. I just figured I'd get a little bit of hate if I did it. But I think that this Morris Peterson is one of the best shooting guards in the game right now. But it all depends on if you like jump shot 14, because it is a jumper that does pull you a little bit closer to the defenders that you're going against. And I know there's some people who, usually me included, really kind of hate that out of cards. So that's kind of why he also is staying down a tier lower than maybe he should be. Next up is Monte Ellis, jump shot 22 on quick, good dribble style, and has decent defense, a good slasher, just an all-around hooper that gets buckets. Nothing really more to him than that. Next up is Luka Doncic, who I've seen is one of the best contested shot makers right now in the game, and we love those kind of cards in a game where it can be easy to play some defense sometimes. But with Luka Doncic, he does have a pretty whack dribble style and dribbling moves in general, but he's still a fun card. I actually kind of like his jumper. I don't think it's that bad. It has a hitch in it, which I think is what a lot of people don't love, but if you can get used to it, this can be one of the best shooting cards you will ever use in a 2K game. Next up is my man Larry Hughes, obviously better as a point guard, but just absolutely locks it down. Has a good jumper as well in the quick timing, can dribble as well, which is always really nice. Essentially what you get out of the man here is just really all-around solid play, but especially just clamps on the defensive end, which, again, I'm here for. I love defense this year. Next up, my man Lance Stevenson, who actually can cook. Lance Stevenson can get out there, dribble, and break people's ankles, shoot with a really nice jumper, has lockdown defense, and can even get inside and slash a little bit as well. Lance Stevenson cards are always kind of hoopers, and this one is no different. Just an all-around super fun card in 2K. Next up is Joe Johnson, jump shot 38 on quick. If you get the signed version, you get Hall of Fame quick for a step, and it is beautiful to say the least. Joe Johnson is one of those guys who we don't see very often in 2K, but I hope he stays pretty consistent this year because this guy is just so fun to get out there and dribble with because base 38, always fun. Next up, Devin Booker. Jump shot 4 on quick is the name of the game with this Booker. Obviously, it's a Devin Booker card, so the defense isn't crazy, but it's still actually pretty solid. You're also not going to be dribbling too much with this Devin Booker, but he still is a really fun card to just go out there, hoop with, and just have fun. One of the, I don't know, less common free cards that I see out there, but it's still really damn good. Next up is Jamal Crawford. Now, Jamal, you do need to add some defensive badges to really make him great, but when it comes to just getting buckets with that Trey Burke base, this Jamal Crawford is one of the best cards in the game at that, and is one of the best playmakers as well. Just all around, Jamal Crawford is just a fun card, man. You can just take him, give him a little bit of defense, and just run out there and learn to dribble a little bit, and he can just be one of the most fun cards to just go out there and break ankles with, and I love fun over meta any day of the week in 2K. Next is Dwayne Wade, who is just an all-around great card, is lightning quick, hence the nickname The Flash, has really good defense, and the Dwayne Wade jumper is one of the easiest to time in the game. All around, it's a perfect story for being a damn good card in 2K. And last but not least is going to be my man Donovan Mitchell. Jump shot 4, great dribbling with that shifty dribble style, and has some of the best defense you will find on an undersized PG that's not named Sidney Moncrief. All around, it's just a good story for Donovan Mitchell. And that means, I was going a little bit too high. We can start off our Demons tier. Let me make sure that's all even. And there we go. We're starting off with Zach LaVine. Galaxy Double Zach LaVine, in my opinion, is one of the most slept-on cards in 2K. He has an awesome jumper, which I find so easy to time. Can still play good defense. Obviously, he's dunking over everybody. And has a great dribble style with amazing dribbling animations that just allow him to be an absolute hooper this year in 2K. I love Zach LaVine. I think he's, again, a super slept-on card that is so fun to use. And I hope a lot of people go out there and give him a try because he's awesome. Next up is Reggie Lewis. I mean, he's been the best PG in the, or best shooting guard in the game for a little while now. He does have some competition now, though. Reggie Lewis has the Kemba Walker jumper on quick, the best defense tendencies you'll probably find on a card, some of the best defense, some of the best dribbling you'll ever find on a card. Like, all around, he has the best of everything. Reggie Lewis is one of the best, if not the best, shooting guards still in the game. Next up is Ray Allen, who got his jumper on quick, got the shifty dribble style, and has great defense. When it comes to just pure bucket getters, I think Ray Allen may be one of the best in the game. It is absolutely crazy. Next up, we have Kobe Bryant and Kobe Bryant. Now, some people may think it's a little bit wild to put both these Kobes on the same tier, but I honestly don't think that there's that big of a difference. There's some extra badges on the Dark Matter that, yes, do make him better than the Pink Diamond, but most of the stats are the same. The animations are exactly the same, and the jumpers are still both on normal for both of these cards. So I really don't. I think that would be the big reason to maybe put one over the other. But as it is right now, I think both of these cards are both in the top tier. Next up is Dwayne Wade. I think we all kind of know, or not Dwayne Wade, Klay Thompson. I think we all kind of know at this point. At one point or another, you have been cooked by a Klay Thompson user, and it is crazy. Klay's one of the best 3D cards in the game, has one of the best jumpers, especially off catch and shoot, and it's just all around a damn menace out there on the court. And seriously, he's one of the best dribblers and most fun dribblers I've used in 2K this year. Klay, kind of a menace. And last but not least is going to be our man, James Harden. James Harden is one of those unorthodox players this year who is honestly crazy good. James Harden doesn't have like the traditional overpowered dribbling moves that you would think about him, but really has some good moves that you can add to your arsenal and just kind of cook people up in ways that they're really not going to be expecting, and it's always super fun. Plus, his jumper is really easy to time this year, especially once they finally put it on that quick timing. And I think all around, James Harden has had a resurgence years, and you should use him because you never know. It could go back to the previous years where he's just absolute trash, so have fun while he's great. So that wraps it up for my shooting guards tier list. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Would you move some guys up, move some guys down, everything in between? Hit that like button if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. We are on the road to 15K subscribers. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.